I love Sketchup. Issue 61. This is gonna be fun. Let's do some drawing. And let's turn my volume down for my music a little bit, 'cause it's super loud. Robert says, hey. Hello, Robert. There we go. So while waiting for the lobby to fill up, I'll keep working on my pinup illustration. I've gotten pretty far in this Transformers drawing. I'm hoping to finish it in time for the Montreal Comic-Con. Just 8 more until you're 1 more away from 70. You know it. What am I gonna say that rhymes with 70? Are OC okay in this stream? First stream of the month? Yeah, alright, we'll do O streams. We'll do OCs this week. And then the rest I'm not gonna take OCs. So I'll always make it like the first weekend of the month will be OC week, and then all the other weeks are gonna be regular pinup. Alright, so I know this whole drawing looks like a real mess right now. It's okay. Like, it'll get cleaned up, and all the characters will look like they're separated from these huge messes at one point. Like, see, like, I've got Windblade back here. She's going to be on top of a busted up Bruticus. And then afterwards, I've got RC, and she's on a busted up Devastator. And then afterwards, I'm going to have Chromia, and she's on a busted up Menasor. Can we try a guy this time? Yeah, sure. I can do dudes. Dudes all the way. Let's do it. We haven't done a guy in a while. And OC, that's fun. Alright, now let's see here. I need blue. Maybe like a light blue here. I'm just going to wait another like 2 or 3 minutes before we end up taking the requests. In that process, I think I'm going to just fix up. What is it? This is the blue? No. This is the blue. Yeah. Okay, good. I don't like how this isn't like blue enough. So here's what I'm going to attempt to do. First I gotta block this off, so I'm going to be putting my blue exactly where I want it to be. I don't really care about any of that. And then right here I gotta make this real sharp on the line. It'd be fun to like just live stream working on like a drawing like this. I haven't done that in a while. I won't be doing that today, because I love doing my request mashups. Alright, so that's gonna work. I knew I had to block that off, and I completely spaced out on that. Now let's bring this around like that. I don't need to block it off too much. Put on the other side, this way I can bring this down like that. Let's do something like that. Now for this. This is already pretty blocked off, but oh geez, I'm gonna have to fix that to begin with. But it's the darkest color. I'm always saying things that I don't know if necessarily you, the viewer, notice while I'm saying it. You know, like over here, this is supposed to be dark right here. So it's time to make that dark right now. There we go. Maybe not that dark that fast. Let's like... There we go. That's nicer. Now, I'm going to have to put a couple of these. So let's put one here like that. Another one here. And then this one's going to be here like that. Then, I feel like I should put one more here. Okay, that's good. Is that good? Let's back it up. It's too much, I feel. Maybe not. Let's make it just a little brighter, I guess. Like that. Grab my dark color. Go in here with it. Make this thing look more three-dimensional once more. And then put the shading. Alright, that looks pretty good. Yeah, Chromia is pretty awesome. It's fun getting to draw a picture of her. Put a bit of shading on her butt. Let's see here. Because I knew I forgot to put in some line shading here. A little bit here. And there. There we go. Oops, make this the darkest one. Oh, come on. Good enough. And then just a little bit here. So Montreal Comic Con is next weekend. Well, actually, it's this weekend coming up. And TFCon, which is the world's biggest fan-run convention for Transformers, is going to be the weekend after. And I always go to it. And this is the drawing I'm going to be submitting to it for the art competition. I always have to try and one-up myself. Okay, let's take some of those requests. Please write your request of what illustration you'd like me to draw for you today in the comment section. Yeah, Chromium's looking pretty good. Trying to see if there isn't something I'm missing, but it looks pretty spot on. My OC Colt. Check your notes in DeviantArt. Oh, sweet. You're both shipping them up on DeviantArt now? That is just fantastic. Alright, let's check these out. Notes. Oh, no, it's not notes. Oh, wait, it is notes. Haha. Alright, so we've got this one, and oh my goodness. Colt has like 10 reference pictures. Alright, so hold on. Let's grab this one. Copy image. Oh, I'm going to save my Transformers illustration. Man, I got to finish this drawing as fast as I can. And then... Wait a minute. Why did that go in red? Oh, that's why. There we go. That's better. Okay. So this is gonna be OC Colt and well, last time it didn't work so well. Yeah, Patreon can be fickle sometimes. Sophia Sands, a font made out of IKEA couches. Yes, they invented that sofa. That's so funny. Zeno, what's the name of your character that you want me to draw? Just let me know and I will. Well, alright, Zeno it is. Alright. Make my brush real quick. Alright. That's better. Save. Alright. No. It's always best to do little sketches when you're not sure of what kind of pose you're gonna do. Let's see here. No, I don't like that. Bigger eraser. No, I'm not gonna do something like that. Oh man, it's tough thinking of poses. Alright, let's see here. Alright, let's do something like that. So why don't you two tell me a little bit about your characters? Zeno and Colt. Zeno's more of a movie fan, meaning that pretty much nearly every video game reference will fly over his head. try and give him somewhat the same pose that you put your Colt in. He also carried an initial disdain for the concept of AI after he binged the original Terminator films. He also has a power called telepathos, which allows him to read thoughts and move objects. His sister also has the same powers too. Oh, that's cool. And random that you'd bring that up afterwards. Yeah, he loves movies and doesn't really know much about video games. Oh, he doesn't really like robots because of Terminator. I guess he also has, like, psychic powers, you know. He can read minds, move things. So he has telepathy and he's psychokinetic. This is gonna cut like this. So he's actually got his foot on his jacket. Alright, maybe I can spruce that up a bit by making his jacket more like a petticoat. He also has a... Oh. Is that like a... I guess like a scar or a birthmark on the side of his arm? That was actually rushed when I drew it. He's gonna hate AI, but it looks like Colt, sorry, has some AI features to him. He's also got sweet Adidas sneakers. What about you, Robert? What kind of character is Colt? He got over his AI disdain when he met Starla and adopted her. Starla. Now, does he wear any kind of specific types of clothing? Because it seems like your reference shot, like, it was kind of all over the place. I couldn't tell. Like, he just wears whatever regular humans wear, I guess. So you have to like have him in like shorts here. So I was thinking I'd just give him like some shorts. But I could always make them like nice fancy board shorts. Let's bring this down a lot and make them a lot lower. Hey Robert, if you could chime in here with what's on Colt's head, I would appreciate it. I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like, it looks like the back of his head might be transparent, or it might be like a visor, or it might be, like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what kind of hat this is. I don't think Robert's watching. Oh, there he is. Oh, that's not Colt. That's Xeon. Oh, no! Dude, you sent me that picture, man. You wrote my Colt. Oh, dang! I was mixing it up with my Colt OC. You sent me like 3 different links, so I wasn't sure which one to go with. Oh man, I'm mixing them all up here. Sorry, I'm mixing up the messages. Okay, Colt's the one in the shorts. Thank you. All right, so is that like a birthmark on Colt? Does he have any special type of abilities or anything like that that I need to know of? Like I said, right now I'm just giving him like some nice board shorts. It's all good. All right, so Zeno, what's the deal with your the back of your character's head here? What has he got on him, on his head here? Is this like a little hat? No, it's a bad scar. Oh, don't. All right, bad scar it is. That's good. That's what I thought. I was gonna really make it like a hardcore burn scar or something like that coming out through the side here. Like he won't be wearing a shirt, so that'll look cool. Zeno kept it as a lucky charm after a snowboarding accident. A snowboarding helmet. Okay. That changes things drastically. Thank you so much for telling me. Zeno kept it as a lucky charm after a snowboarding accident. Alright. He can use fire and ice attacks and use swords. Alright. Boy, I would like to curse you for not telling me this earlier when I wanted to know about your character. Alright, I'm going to do the best I can to incorporate these things now that I'm this late into the game. Alright, let's see. Snowboarding accident helmet. Or a snowboarding helmet. So I can give him like just a regular kind of helmet. I'll have the pieces hanging down. Oh no, you won't even see the pieces because he's got this thing. And then here I'm going to put like a snowboarding visor. that should be good. Let's give him some fire. And maybe I'll give him a belt here too. And his belt here. I don't know if I like that belt. I wanted to give him a sword somehow, but it's a little too late to give him a sword. With my sketch, I didn't know. Sorry, I was needing the other room. It's okay, man. Don't worry about it. How am I going to give this guy a sword while he's got a petticoat and everything else that I've given him? This is tough indeed. I'll start off by giving him some socks. And, alright, maybe if I put the belt in the other direction. Let's erase the socks and this belt, it'll be a little easier this way. Alright, so sock number 1. Sock number 2. Belt could be... No, I can draw it better than that. I can't do it. I can't give him a sword. It's not gonna look... The picture's just not gonna look good. Is it like... Well, what kind of sword is it? Is it a... Robert? Is it a fencing sword or anything like that? Like I was gonna draw like a Japanese samurai sword, but I didn't stop to think if it's a specific... It's a katana, okay, yeah. Yeah, I figured it would be, but I had to ask on the off chance that you're like, it's some hybrid katana super sword. Ha ha ha. Maybe I'll have him just holding it. Alright, let's start doing the real line art to this. A laser blade, which is a stereotypical shape. It's actually blunt, so it's a big stick. Kind of makes me think of like the swords or the Z swords from Mega Man, where they're like laser lightsabery, but they don't actually like melt through things. You beat somebody with it. From like Mega Man X. close, just a little. His sister Zeta also had one, but she modded it so it was a lot less heavier and looked like a rapier. Oh, rapiers. They're so sweet. Let's bring this eye a little closer. Like that, I think. There we go. All right. All this is like foam. There we go. No, I can do better. There we go. weird shape. I'm going to spend 20 minutes trying to do that line art. There we go. So far, I'm reading this Yondir webcomic where one dates another. It's crazy as you think. Let's fuse that in there. Man, it's funny because the more you work on comic books and, well, actually, I guess, like, the saying is the more you do what you love, the less time you have to do what you love. Like, since I've been working on my own comic, I've not had time to read anything. Like, I have a friend who spent years working on his own webcomic, and I really want to read it. I have to read it. And I need to read it before the Montreal Comic Con, and I've been so busy that I'm just like, I just don't have time. And I want to so badly, I just don't have time for anything. Like, even today, like, doing my live streaming, I was hesitant to still doing it. It's just I knew that I missed a week last week. Although, in my Patreon bundle, I'm going to make up for it. I'm putting in the Galdiv wall pinup illustration that I had done. So, that'll, like, take up for one of the days I missed out on. But still, you know, like, it sucks. I just don't have any time for anything anymore. That's an interesting helmet design. Thanks. I wasn't really sure what one looked like, so I'm like adding like random little lines here and there to make it look very, I guess it looks robot-y. I've been drawing a lot of robots lately, so I imagine if you were to color it in, maybe you could like slap like a giant like sticker or something on it. I don't know. And he's got like his goggles attached to it. It would have been cool to make the goggles look super fancy and futuristic too. But he doesn't have that kind of money. This is where I'm adding my own little flavor to your characters. This guy has no money at all. That's why he doesn't have a shirt, and he's just got shorts. He's got a nice pair of shoes, but he stole them. He didn't have shoes, and he wanted to buy some food. Well, he wanted to get some food at one point with the bit of money he managed to scrounge up during the day. And then they're like, hey, no shirt, no shoes, no service. And he's like, what? So he walked into a shoe store, put them on, walked out, and then the people were like, hey, excuse me. And he's like, and they're like, did you buy those? He's like, I came in with them. What, you expect me to walk around without shoes? You're crazy. And then he left. Although he did walk in without shoes. Character development. For Xenolt. In my story that I'm inventing for him right now, he's like kind of an anti-hero. He just does whatever he wants whenever he needs to do it. Sometimes he gets caught for doing his shenanigans, and sometimes he doesn't. He plays by his own rules. Good old Xenolt. I'm sure I can fuse those names better than that. He sounds like Colt. An ex-robot hater who has a robot daughter now has a robot helmet. Well, it's not a robot helmet. It's just like the lining for the fabrication of the helmet. You know, like where if you were to draw something like and you wanted it to look kind of like futuristic or space age, you just add a couple of lines to it. The holes that are on there are actually for his head to breathe. You know, like when you wear a helmet, there's usually holes cut into it for that. Imagine him, and also because like he's gonna have like board shorts, he's kind of like a beach bum. Maybe like you could like I'll imagine too that okay, so he's in crazy good shape, and every time girls see them, like, oh my god, look at that cute guy, and then they smell him because he doesn't take showers, and they're like, ee. So he's admired from afar. Most people really like him up until they get close to him. And let's say like whoever the main character girl would be, she'd be the one that is constantly forcing him to take baths. I'm hyped for Luigi's Mansion 3. Now people are hoping for a squishy Goiji amiibo. Zeno's girlfriend is a Scottish scientist with crazy anger issues. A squishy Goiji Oh yeah, Guigi. Okay, I gotcha. You know what? I've never played any of the Luigi's Mansion games. They look interesting, but I never really got into like Mario games in general. Like when I was a kid, I loved all of them. Like even Zelda, I played them all when I was a kid. I loved like regular Nintendo and Super Nintendo because I'm really old. So I used to play those all the time and I loved them so much. And now that I'm older, I tried to get into Zelda games and I just can't do it. Like I tried a bunch of them. I tried Parallel Worlds, which is or A Link Between Worlds, which is essentially like the exact same, like it takes place in the same universe as my favorite Zelda, Link to the Past, that I played when I was a kid. So I thought I'd like it for sure. I don't. I don't care about it. I tried Ocarina of Time. Don't like it. I watched Breath of the Wild for a little while, and I was like, nah, this isn't for me. So it's just I can't play Zelda games, and even Mario games. Like I love the Super Nintendo one, Super Mario World. It was my favorite, one of my favorite games of all time. I used to play it. I used to play it a lot. I've beaten that game a lot. And Mario 3 I've beaten so many times, and I love Mario 2 because it's so weird. And I love playing as Peach because she could fly, and that was fun. So like, I don't know, like it's just I tried playing newer ones, and like the Mario for the Wii U, didn't get into it. I really am not interested in playing the what's it called, like Mario Odyssey. It looks intriguing. I just no. I'm gonna make this like a little pocket. These are board shorts. Board shorts always have like a little pocket in the corner here. So yeah, I really wanted to play these games, and I just don't find myself being interested in them, unfortunately. And Luigi's Mansion is one that, like, even when the first one came out, I was not into my game phase of my life. I was into my going out partying phase. So now that they're like, hey, here's the second one, I'm just like, whoa. I don't have any, like, attachment to that. And yet I love Ghostbusters. I know that if I had gotten into Luigi's Mansion, like, if I was younger, I would have gotten into Luigi's Mansion for sure. Let's bring his foot up a bit, like that. Is that right? That is not right. Let's make this long and follow what I actually drew. This looks a little high. What about Super Mario Maker 2? Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. But, you know, any of the Maker games I'm less into. But that I've got a very valid reason for. See, because I spend hours and hours and hours on end just making my own comic book and making my own characters and always having to be, like, in control of my, and, like, constantly being super creative with everything that I do. When Mario Maker came out and all those games where they're like, hey, make your own RPG, make your own this, make your own that. I saw it and I was like, what? That looks super fun. And then I stopped and thought, I can't sit around and be creative in a game like this for that many hours. I basically blow all my creativity on my comic or when I'm drawing pinups. So it's very exhausting. And so when games like Maker comes out or any of those kind of games, I skip by them altogether, even if they're like critically acclaimed super good. I can't play them. Like, essentially, like, I'll play a game that's already made. Like, I'm playing Bloodstained right now on my Switch, and I flippin' love that game. It's just like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's super good. But, like, I'll play games that are easy to make and very linear. Like, that's another thing, like, open world concept games, like, that's another thing where I'm like, oh, I can choose to do whatever I want. Well, you know what I want to do? I want to follow the story. So I'm just like that because of I'm a slave to the circumstances of which I put myself into. Because I guarantee you, if I didn't spend all my time constantly like drawing comics, then I would most assuredly be playing Mario Maker and all those kind of like super creative games. Because I think they're really great. Like, I think the idea behind them is really good. Like, it's a cool concept. Letting people make their own Mario game is fun. Alright, what am I missing here? His hand, and then I'll add some energy. Ugh, I can redraw that. Ugh, how am I gonna do this hand? It's really frustrating. Alright, when I can't draw that hand, I do it the right way. Basically, the problem's not the hand, the problem's where I put my sketch to my sword. I feel like time goes by faster and faster. Either I'm slowly spending more and more time on my sketches, but I feel like the sketch is less detailed than some of the ones I've done in the past. So that's why I'm like, really like, what is going on? Like, even like last week's sketch, I was looking at it, and like compared to the other ones that I've drawn, I'm like really like not very impressed with my fairy one that I did. But I think my fairy one, I had too much going on. I like fusing a fairy with like 4 people's ideas was ridiculous. I just didn't have the time to go through doing that. So the design itself kind of fell apart pretty quickly. Alright, let's fix this arm and bring it a little closer up. Yeah, about that looks good. That was for his hair. Okay. This one's gonna be for the sword. The fringe looks nice. Hands scare me. Yeah, it takes a lot of practice. Like, if you saw what I had done earlier, or if you like when you're done watching this video, if you like roll back to see how I drew my hand real quick, that's like the best way to do things. Like if you're having trouble with something, then you kind of draw the skeleton to it. Well, not literal skeleton, but like the drawing skeleton, and it really, really, really helps. I always do that whenever I have trouble with like a certain angle to something. I'll draw that in. Oh, I got something fun I can talk about. Like I've been trying to find like more shows to watch while I'm drawing and stuff. And I'm currently watching, or yeah, watching for the first time the anime to Oh My Goddess. When I was younger, I had read all, like most of the mangas, and then when I heard that there was like a TV series, I watched like the old OAV in the 90s and the movie, and I really liked them. And then like I realized there was a TV show that they made like a few years ago, and then they picked it back up recently, I believe, or like in 2014, like 2005 and then 2014. So I'm like basically going through that. It's sweet. It's pretty fun. I love how the creator of that series puts so much work and effort into clothing. Like, I don't, like, in the manga, not so much, but in the comics, it's ridiculous. Like, every time it's another day, they never wear the same kind of clothes. But they might have some of the same accessories. So, like, if someone's wearing a different, they might have the same top, different pants, different top, but they'll never do it so soon. Like, it'll be, like, several mangas before they do it. So it's kind of, I really like that. It's something that when I was younger, I was like, that's really cool. I would love to do that in my comic. Then I made a comic where they all wear school uniforms, so that's that. However, the first issue to my comic is not the same day, and I have them wearing different clothing and getting changed too. I'm just signing it, but I'm not finished yet. I know it's already been an hour, but I'm gonna wait I'm gonna do like 5 more minutes. Let's get rid of this sketch. Just make sure there's not something here that I'm missing. No. Get rid of that. I'm gonna bring his sock up a little bit too, so that it matches up with this other sock. Layer. No, I'm only gonna put that many. I don't like that. Let's line these up a little bit better. And he always says, this character will say classic lines like, "Hey baby, why don't you get away from that zero and get with a hero?" And he always considers himself the hero. Although he causes a lot of property damage. Kind of like Spider-Man. But it's like funnier, I guess. Because whenever Spider-Man causes property damage, it's like, oh no, that's property damage. Actually, he doesn't even, he rarely mentions it. And then there's like people that lose their homes, and it's all Spider-Man's fault, and people hate Spidey for it. And this guy destroys stuff, and they're like, are you supposed to be the hero or the villain? What's going on here? Z-Cold. Noko. We can call him Noko. The end of Xeno and the beginning of Cold. So Noko it is. Noko actually sounds like a funner name. Alright, let's give him a little bit of fire. How about some fire, Scarecrow? Where's my sweet brush that I made for these moments? Here we go. Lower this down a little. Give him a little bit of this glow in this eye. And then I'll grab my eraser and use the exact same brush. Where are you at? Here we go. Lower the opacity. Maybe not that low. Maybe not that high. Too high. Too high! This one looks pretty fun. Maybe we'll put a little bit of white in there. On part, included him creating a telepathic augmented explosion with sumo stomp. Wrecked everything and everyone in the room. Xeno, where do you write your stories? Like, you have all these, like you really work hard on creating your characters and like information about where they come from and their designs. You just write it down? You keep it all in your head? Because every time I create things like that, I always write everything down. To be fair, it was a room full of armed mercenaries. See, so like, what you just told me with the armed mercenaries, is that because you wrote like an actual, like it's part of like a story you actually wrote? Or is it in your head and you're planning to write it? Part of a story. I have some bits written down. Nice. I picture you with like multiple post-its, and you have like, when you think of ideas, you write post-its, you're like, oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You've got like a wall full of stuff. Alright, whoa, jeez. Sorry. Probably pressed the wrong button. Alright, let's save. Yeah, when I have like ideas for my comic book, I've got like this little book here with like this really cool shark sticker on it. And since I created my first comic, I started doing like little sketches in this book. And a lot of the times I'll write at the top ideas here, and then I just fill up ideas. That way I can go through it super quick and be like, everywhere I write ideas. And then if I write the name of the chapter I'm doing, I'll write that at the top and put a little star, so that way I can go through that if I'm like, oh, I needed to add that to this chapter or that to that chapter. Like, here's a really good example. Like, I have some pictures of sketches of Mika, I think. Right, so like when I was designing Mika, I had her here, and then like I did a bunch of sketches in another book, and then I came back into this book before I was like, oh, I like this, I want it to be like that. So like that was kind of, and even when I was creating my clothing for my Verelix, and well, actually my clothing for like my school uniforms, it's all in here too. And so I just basically do that all the time until I come up with like more ideas, like Valentine's Day promo. So I was like, oh my gosh, I've got like this idea for a Valentine's Day promo I would like to do. And then afterwards I put it into practice. Hold on, I think I have it here. There it is. Yep. So that's what I do. Alright, so this was a fun one, guys. This turned out pretty good. He looks like a total badass. Alright, well, time to do my BC in your speech. Where are you at? There we go. Oh, gotta get my guest for this speech all lined up. Thus ends my live streaming session for today. Yet the real challenge begins. Listening to my 2-minute long advertisement on me, myself, and I. Isn't it crazy that I always read this? Like, I don't have like a thing that I plug in and I push play on at the end. Like, I don't know. I like reading it. I think it's fun. That's always different. All links mentioned will be in the description below this video. At a young age, I realized that sleep was for suckers and I could get way more done by avoiding it altogether. Now that I'm older, all I want to do is sleep. I work like crazy. So with your epic support of $3 a month, you not only get access to high quality files with all the sketches or pinups I've completed each month, but you give me a few more minutes of rest, and I can't possibly express my gratitude for this. So how about praise from a local celebrity? Like, hello, I'm Supergirl, and like, Eric's stuff's totally awesome. You should totally support him. Haha, bye. Oh, Supergirl. That's what 17-year-old girls sound like, right? I don't know, I'm really old, so I have no clue. Some people are into old retro things. You know who you are. So, if you'd like access to some of my older sketches and drawings, they're all available for purchase up on my Gumroad page. Now hold up a second, because this next part is life or death important. You see this? Well, I spent my whole life working on this. Well, my whole life. Let's say like a good 10 years, 12 years, but the past 5 to 6 years hardcore on it. So, I want to give this thing the life it deserves, and I need your help to give it that life. So, if you could just maybe check it out on my Webtoons page, you can read it, a lot of it is up there, and if you could rate it a 10 on 10 and subscribe to it, I'd really appreciate it. It goes a super long way to making it more popular, and I'd love for it to be all over the internet one day. That would be amazing. So now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I have a blurry photograph of my kids from the future. Please don't ask me how I got it. And with each person that subscribes and likes my YouTube videos, that photo becomes a little more clear. So help out not only me, but little Leo, Raph, Casey, and April having an existence by hitting that subscribe and like button. You know who else is super important to the rise of my future empire? Did I say empire? I meant fun, friendly, magical friends of the fun future. Well, it's you. Do you like sketching or drawing? What about making awesome costumes or cosplay? Well, you do some fan-related stuff to my comic Blight, and I'll assure you a seat in my future galactic foothold, as well as advertising your fan stuff all over the internet. Did I say Galactic Foothold? I meant Adventure Friends Infinity D. Well, I have to go now, but don't forget that you deserve to have an awesome rest of your day. So I'll be seeing you.